Welcome viewers to Northeast State Weekly News Roundup. Union Minister for Communications and DONER Jyotir Aditya M. Scindia on Friday virtually inaugurated and laid foundation stones for projects worth over Rs 645 crore in Nagaland. The state-level event held at Pezzo Resort Tophema was attended by Chief Minister Nipi Rio and Deputy Chief Minister T.R. Zeliang. Projects worth Rs 202 crore were inaugurated, including the upgradation of the 132 kV Nagarjan substation in Dimapur, Rs 24.46 crore, and in-service teachers training center, Rs 20 crore, IT upgrades in 190 schools, Rs 18.95 crore, and 2 completed PWT Rotten Bridges road projects, Chendang Saddle Noklak Road, Rs 45.59 crore, and the AT road from Susangra to Impur Junction, Rs 93.98 crore. Foundation stones were laid for 11 new projects totaling nearly Rs 443 crore, such as the multi-specialty hospital at Chumakitima, Rs 58.72 crore, a 50-bedded hospital at New Paran, Rs 44.65 crore, the Kohima Multidisciplinary Sports Center, Rs 72.59 crore, the Nagaland Innovation Hub, Rs 19.57 crore, and the 1.5 MW Zuna Small Hydro Project, Rs 22.80 crore. 7 new PWT road projects worth Rs 225 crore were also launched. Chief Minister Rio said the projects reflect collective progress in connectivity, services and rural development, while Scindia praised Nagaland's cultural strength, tourism prospects and the growing demand for Naga coffee. Nagaland Board of School Education (NBSC) has taken cognizance of reports circulating on social media regarding the alleged leakage of question papers of the ongoing Phase 2 Class 9 Final Exam 2025 from a school in Dimapur. In a statement, NBSC Secretary and Chairperson Additional Charge Ranguibung Sangrangbai said immediate action has been initiated with an FIR filed before the police for necessary investigation. NBSC has urged the general public to refrain from posting speculative or unverified information on social media, cautioning that such actions may disturb public peace or jeopardize the investigation process. The board informed that exams for the remaining subjects will continue as scheduled. However, results for 4 subjects, English, Social Science, Science, and Alternative English, shall be kept on hold by all registered schools. NBSC further stated that the retests may be conducted in all or specific districts depending on the extent of the leakage, and necessary action will be taken based on the findings of the investigation agency. Meanwhile, in a notification, the board stated that heads of institutions shall maintain strict confidentiality of question papers as notified earlier. It also stated printing of question papers shall be carried out under strict supervision of head of the institution, senior graduate teacher. NBSC also said that grade 4 staffs shall not be involved in handling any confidential materials under any circumstances. It also said that no electronic devices shall be permitted while handling printing confidential papers during the exam period. The Inner Line Regulation Commission ILRC of the Naga Students Federation NSF has clarified that Nepali Gorkha citizens are not exempt from the Inner Line Permit ILP requirement in Nagaland. It said a long-standing misconception has led many to believe they are exempt, but under the Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation BEFR of 1873, all non-native and ILP notified areas including Nagaland must obtain an ILP. The only exemption applies to non-indigenous persons who were settled in the East while Naga Hills before Nagaland attained statehood in December 1963. ILRC said confusion stems from misreading the Indo-Nepal Treaty of Peace and Friendship 1950. Although the treaty grants reciprocal movement and residence rights, these are still subject to each country's domestic laws. Therefore, India's protective legislations, BEFR Article 371A and other safeguards remain fully enforceable and do not override ILP provisions. The Commission emphasized that ILP is a protective mechanism, not a citizenship-based system. Thus, even Nepalese Gorkhas who are Indian citizens must obtain an ILP unless they fall under the pre-1963 category. Nepali nationals, being foreign citizens, are subject to ILP rules as well as immigration laws. ILRC urged the public to stop spreading misinformation, reaffirming that only non-indigenous persons settled before 1963 are exempt. Nepali Gorkha citizens, Indian or foreign, are not automatically exempt. It is also informed that surprise checks may be carried out anytime to ensure compliance. Curtains came down on the 4-day record-breaking Nagaland Revival and Healing Festival 2025 held at the multidisciplinary sports complex Dimapur Friday, with attendance soaring to another record of around 1.95 lakh attendees according to organizers. In all 4 days, the total attendance was 40,000, 70,000, 1 lakh, 1,95,000, equaling to 4,05,000. This is a record in Nagaland for a privately organized function. The entire 4-day service, billed as festival, was extended to Friday owing to intense demand. It was organized by a group of millennials calling themselves as the Gatekeepers. Addressing the gathering, Sajwan declared that while the festival had ended, the revival is not going to stop. Wherever you go, we will take the revival with us. He emphasized that Christianity is defined not by activity or ministry, but by union with God, adding the deeper the union with Christ, the weaker sin becomes. Prophesying over Nagaland, Sajwan said Generation Z would rise in prophetic boldness, choosing church over pubs and wine shops, and become revivalists, leading India in testimonies of healing and transformation. This revival is birthing a generation that will inherit promises and demonstrate the kingdom, he declared, encouraging attendees to share testimonies online. He added, Jesus is the healer and a wave of testimonies is breaking out. The Nagaland Liquor Total Prohibition NLTP Act Repeal Committee under the Dimapur Urban Council Chairman Federation on Wednesday renewed its call for a review of the state's 36-year-old prohibition policy, arguing that the ban has failed and instead expanded the illicit alcohol threat. Committee convener Zazavikyo Zakisito questioned the 10-day relaxation of the NLTP Act during the Hornbill Festival, saying that if exemptions could be met for tourism, a full policy review was overdue. He also criticized the church for remaining silent on the Hornbill exemption despite consistently opposing the lifting of prohibition. Addressing the press at the NCD office, Zakisito said nearly 90% of the consolidation process was complete, with final consultation set for January 2026. Ground assessment, he said, showed the ban had caused more harm than good, with alcohol still widely accessible. He added that about 95% of stakeholders preferred regulation over prohibition and warned that continuing the dry law would worsen the situation in the state. Zakisito claimed that more than 2,700 bootleggers were operating in Dimapur, supplying adulterated liquor that posed health risk. DUCCF Vice President Tonsuk Ponganas said the state must acknowledge that the act had not achieved its purpose, citing the rise in nightclubs, substance abuse, and underground supply networks. He said the appeal for repeal was for the safety of the future generations and called for a transparent, regulated system. The committee will submit its final memorandum after the January consultation.